Everybody, the devil is among us. Sort of. I'm sure a lot of people know that there was an anticipated show that came on Fox last night. It was called Lucifer. It's supposed to follow the misadventures of Lucifer, the devil, as he makes his way to LA in our world. I was one of the ones that watched it last night, and this is going to be my review and start a new review series about TV shows. I'm going to review the premiere of Lucifer and talk about what might be expected for the show and what my thoughts are on how the show is going. So without further ado, here is TV show reviews on the premiere of Lucifer. I know there ain't no rest for the wicked until we close our eyes for good. Of course, we start out the show with Lucifer, or Lucifer Morningstar as he goes by, and he's played by Tom Ellis, who we know from multiple TV shows such as Once Upon a Time, The Strain, and Doctor Who. We see that apparently he is exploiting who he is. He's not trying to hide it at all. He's blatantly telling people that he is Lucifer. He's the devil. He's Satan. He is the biblical monster of hell. We see a couple different things that show us what his abilities and powers are, like that anybody, once they look into his eyes, they want to tell him their most deepest, darkest secret, which is a very valuable skill to have. And of course, why would the devil not have that skill? So once we really get into the show and we've gotten the character development down, something horrible happens to someone that he is, I'm going to say, moderately close to in the human realm. Once that happens, that sparks something inside of him, which sort of kind of gives us an idea of how they're portraying the devil in this show. So once he does that, he gets on the case trying to find out what happened, who did it, and why they did it. And then that introduces us to our next character, which he kind of, I'll say sort of befriends, which is going to be Detective Chloe Dancer, which is played by Lauren German. You can recognize her from being on multiple shows as well. She's been on Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, and Hawaii Five-0. Now this is the detective. She's sort of a hardened detective. She's one of those women that's trying to prove herself in a man's world. And then we find out that his ability or his charm doesn't actually work on her, which makes him stick around to try to figure out what's going on and what's so curious about her and why she's immune to it. There's a couple other characters that I'm going to mention that are notable that I think will appear more in the series and have an influence on the storyline. We see Linda, who is a therapist who's played by Rachel Morris, as who we can recognize as playing Melissa from The Hangover, which was Stu's wife. And then we also see a character from the angelic world. He's an angel. His name is Amadil, and he is played by D.B. Woodside. He's been in numerous TV shows himself. He's been in 24, Monk, and Castle. I mention these because Amadil has been watching Lucifer, and that he keeps telling him that he needs to go back to hell because all of the demons and the lost souls are becoming rowdy and, I guess, misbehaving more than normal. And he keeps threatening him, so I can tell he's going to be a big player in the coming season. Also, he is the only connection to heaven and the other angels that, of course, would be in this show because it's a show about the devil. Why you can't have a show about the devil without angels as well. I included the therapist because from the commercials and trailers from future episodes, it looks like Lucifer keeps going back to her to talk to her. Kind of adds in the humor to his character. He keeps going back and talking about issues, I guess, that he is having. I think the way that they tried to portray Lucifer was a very interesting one. In my opinion, they portrayed him in the way that is in the classic literature, Paradise Lost, written by John Milton, and in this story, Lucifer is portrayed as a lost and misguided being. He was trying to do what he thought was right and was punished for it and questioned why he was being punished for it. And he did not think that it is fair that he's being punished for doing something that he viewed as right. So this is sort of a different perspective that more movies of late are now doing to portray the devil or Satan, is to give him a sort of sympathy feeling, is to make you want to feel bad for him because he's in a position where he thought he was doing right and he was punished for it, severely punished for it. So we feel bad for him and we identify with him. And a lot of movies and TV shows are going that route because they realize that more and more people are starting to like the villain and they're starting to sympathize with the villain because the villain makes sense. So they also are sort of integrating, I think, a little bit of mythology here as well with the god of Hades from Greek mythology. Hades, of course, was the god of the underworld, which in their eyes would have been our idea of Lucifer or the devil. Hades got the shit end of the stick and ended up being the god of the underworld. It wasn't because he messed up, it was because literally that's the job he was dealt. And when Lucifer's talking in the show, he sort of gives way to that's what happened, that he was dubbed as being the guardian or the king, lord, what have you, of hell, and that it was a crap deal and he didn't want it, but because God wanted it that way, that's how it was. So it's a very interesting way to portray the devil. We're both including mythology and we're including classic literature that I'm sure everybody is familiar with. If not, go out there and read the book. It's a good book. What I think, honestly, I think that the show Lucifer is good. I like it. I like where it's going. It's a very edgy show. It's got dark elements to it, and it's got a shit ton of humor. I mean, that show had me literally laughing out loud. It was funny because he's also, not only is he playing the sympathy role of, well, I didn't want to do this, but he's also the biggest smartass I have ever seen in my life. So that's what's funny. He says things that everybody is thinking, which makes you laugh. I think, honestly, if they keep going the way that the show is going, I think that it will be a successful show. I like the show. Like I said, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's dark, it's everything that you would expect from a show entitled Lucifer for a modern audience. So I would encourage everybody to go out there, go watch the premiere, and then also start watching the show, because I think it's going in a great direction. It's a great show, so you guys should go check it out. I'm Justin Sisk, and this is a TV show review of the premiere of the new show Lucifer. Hey everybody, if you liked what you saw, please go down there and hit that big red subscribe button. That helps me out a lot. And hit the like, hit the share, and if comment and say what you think. If you watched the premiere, let me know what you thought of the show Lucifer and think of where the show is going. And if it's going in a good direction, and if the actors do a good job, because I think they're great, the people that they picked. So go down there, comment, share, and give me some suggestions on TV shows that you guys like. How I'm going to run this particular series is if a new show comes on, I'll do the premiere, and then once the entire season is over, I will review the entire season. Also, there are I know that have finished. I can go back and I can watch those and review those as well, which I plan to do on some shows I've already finished. So, like I said, go down there, give me some ideas, tell me what you thought, give me some recommendations to go out there and watch some shows, movies, what have you, and I'll see you guys next time.